Hey guys, for anyone interested in strength training for triathlon, I'm going to show you a gym session with my friend Richard Westover, who is a professional triathlete. He specialises in 70.3, which are half Ironman distance, but he has done a few full Ironmans. Most of the training structure was adapted from the sessions done by Mark Allen, who is a 6-time Ironman world champion. His weight training is in 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 is simply adaptation to all the exercises. Then phase 2 is what Rich is doing now during his winter training, which is the longest phase. Phase 3 is known as the power phase. Some exercises switch to sets of 10, 8 and 6. And finally phase 4 with a faster tempo, allowing heavier weight just as you're leading into important competitions. After a warm-up, the first exercise is a rear leg elevated split squat. Rich will do 3 sets of 12 with just the bar, with a 4-0-2-0 tempo, which means 4 seconds down, no pause at the bottom, 2 seconds up and no pause at the top. That means that a single set of 12 takes over a minute for each leg. This is working something called time under tension, so the muscle is working just as hard as if you were doing more reps faster, but here it's very controlled and the elastic component of the muscle isn't being used very much. This exercise is good for running hills as it's targeting the quads and the glutes, as well as the adductors for stability. Next up is dumbbell bench press. Rich does 4 exercises back to back, and since they hit different muscle groups, he doesn't need to rest between each exercise. Similar to the split squat, you can see a controlled 4-second eccentric phase and then 2 seconds back to the top. A lot of the exercises he does are helping the swim in the triathlon, as that's the only time your upper body is working hard. Pressing hits the triceps as well as the chest, and that will improve power as he pulls his arm through the water in the swim. With 15 kilo dumbbells, he does 3 sets of 12 reps. Moving on to bicep curls. To save time changing the weight, he'll use the barbell for this exercise. This is 3 sets of 12 again, and the tempo is just slow and controlled here, no specific number to hit. Another one that helps with the pull phase of the swim. Also uphill on a bike, it helps to get leverage off the handlebars with the arms. Last one in this little circuit is calf raises, just using body weight or holding a small weight plate. 15 reps with a slow eccentric phase. The front half of the foot is on a small platform, and that allows him to dip slightly below parallel while still keeping tension in the calf muscle. If you do these at home, you'll find you can really make the calves burn if you do too many reps. That's not the goal for Rich here. He needs durable calves for the run, and this is a nice injury prevention measure. Once he's completed these, he'll go back round to the split squats and go through the exercises for 2 more circuits. Moving on to the next circuit, again made of 4 exercises, starting with regular deadlifts. These are slow and controlled, not trying to max out on weight, so it's 4 sets of 10 and he's using 40 kilos. The deadlift is a great exercise for the posterior chain, and the biggest carryover will probably be in developing power for the bike. Then on to Swiss ball hamstring curls. These are a great option if you don't have access to a leg curl machine. Making sure to keep the hips up as you bring the ball in. Everything is slow and controlled as always, and this is 15 reps with no additional weight. This is hitting the muscles on the back of the legs, which help you pull your leg through in the run and might help with the bike too. Onto dumbbell pullover. These can be done with a single heavy dumbbell, positioning yourself on the edge of the bench, but since the exercises are back to back, Rich uses 2 dumbbells and lies on top of the bench. It's easy to see how this can transfer to the swim stroke, and it's different from what you might know as a skull crusher because the arms keep a slight bend while the main movement is coming from the shoulders. 3 sets of 12 with 7.5 kilos per hand, then immediately into a tricep extension. Again, an alternative could be tricep kickbacks, but with the need for the same weight, a lying extension is a good option. You can see the difference here in that the upper arm is now fixed in place and the movement is initiated through the elbow joint. As it's a harder exercise, this is 3 sets of 10 before going back round to the next loop of this circuit. On to the final 2 exercises, one of which is simply for shoulder maintenance. We have the Incline Dumbbell Row. Notice the effort to hold at the top, then lower slowly. This is far more controlled than you'll see from most people in the gym. 12 reps with 7.5 kilos, and that's building his middle back to balance out the chest work he did earlier. The last exercise is a 3-way raise, and since the focus is on general shoulder health, he only uses 1.25 kilos in each hand. The first movement is a front raise, working the anterior deltoid, and it's 10 steady reps of that. Then straight onto lateral raises, which mainly target the middle of the 3 shoulder muscles, the lateral deltoid. Finally, the posterior deltoid and trapezius is targeted with a W raise. The raises are only done for 2 sets, and that rounds off the gym session. The only thing left to do is abs, which is 1 or 2 4-minute circuits made up of 6 exercises, each done for 40 seconds. Rich typically does this session twice a week, but can drop a few exercises depending on the other demands in his training.